Hey everybody, I hope you don't hear the background noise. I apologize in advance. Basically, this is the second part of me reacting to Ghana's reparation summit this year, 2023. Um, right now, I'm listening to two speakers for right now. Like I said, this is 3 hours long. I'm gonna break this down in segments. A little bit of commentary before I get started. This is going to be very interesting because we have to remember that Africa is a continent. So we're not just talking about West Africa, we're talking about North and South Africa as well. With that being said, I want y'all to think about who's up north. But these first two speakers, it's going to be interesting. The first speaker, not so much. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get this started.
Stage, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional.
Oh yeah, before I get started, also the beginning speaker, she's from Ghana. So it's like an introduction to that. Yeah, let's go ahead because I forgot what I was about to say.
Integration, Honorable Shirley Ayoko Boche.
Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Your Excellency, Azali Assoumani, President of the Comoros and Chair of the African Union. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, and their representatives here present. Your Excellency, Deputy Chairperson of the African Union, Commission, colleague ministers, service chiefs, excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners, and members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished participants and delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to begin by extending a warm welcome on behalf of the government and people of Ghana to all of you who have traveled from the four corners of the globe to be with us today. To our brothers and sisters who are visiting us from the continent and from the global African diaspora, we say Akwaba. You are welcome home.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I'm basically reacting to these because I'm trying to catch like little slick talk as far as them saying like African diaspora. We already know here in Black America, like here in America with us being Black Americans, they're trying to commit ethnocide on our history here. They're trying to call us Africans, and we're not Africans. So yeah, I'm just looking for a little slick talk here and there. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the discourse around which we are now gathered in this hall has never been more urgent. The case for reparations and restorative justice for Africans and people of African descent could not be stronger and more just. Even a fleeting analysis of history provides ample evidence that the detrimental effects of slavery, colonialism, and apartheid, etc., continue to impact the socio-economic development on our continent. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa and its diaspora are still reconnecting and collectively healing from the deep wounds inflicted by slavery and colonialism. This historic context is essential to understanding the present and recognizing the urgency of reparations and restorative justice. The demand for a global African identity has never been greater, and it is...
That's what I'm talking about right there. A global African identity. Yeah, I don't like that. We do have African descent, but it's like y'all trying to erase what we done here and include yourselves into the inventions that we brought here. I just seen recently they're trying to say now that Morocco helped create the blues, and it's like it's so disrespectful, you know. But let's go ahead and continue.
It's crucial to recognize how slavery, colonialism, and racism intersect and impact the lives of Africans and people of African descent around the world. It is only in this way that we will be able to advocate for reparations, promote restitution, and restore the dignity of the African continent and its people. We in Ghana note with appreciation the accomplishment of the African Union in establishing a common African position for the restitution of cultural objects plundered from the continent. And we believe that the next logical step is to extend this effort to include the restoration and reparation of the evils of slavery, colonialism, and the slave trade. We acknowledge in this regard the leading role that the Caribbean region and CARICOM have played in this area. We look forward to adopting the key lessons and best practices from the Caribbean, as well as other regions of the world, to support the important.
There's gonna be some interruptions during this. This clip isn't so long though, so yeah. Just give it a second, it'll come back in.
The Republic of Ghana has been at the forefront of championing reparations and healing from the deep-rooted legacies of slavery, colonialism, and apartheid. Under the leadership of His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, our nation has demonstrated exceptional will in advocating for an equitable and just world that treats the global African community with dignity, respect, and equity. In addition, the Republic of Ghana submitted a draft decision to the African Union Assembly of Heads of State and Government, the AU Assembly, during the African Union Summit, which was held in February 2023 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Ghana's effort resulted in the Assembly formally and unanimously passing the landmark decision, which was entitled Building a United Front to Advance.
I think this is where it interfered. Like, I think this video was live. Um, yeah, this is probably the ending of it. It didn't continue with her speech. So basically, how I feel about this is they have been planning this probably all year, right? And we knew about it, but as far as this going on in November, no, we didn't know about it to the day of. As far as like reparations in Africa, I don't really think this has anything to do with us. Like she said, had her they got the idea from the Caribbean, CARICOM, which CARICOM got their idea from us, but they didn't really mention Black Americans. So I don't know if it has anything to do with us. I'm pretty sure they're gonna reach out because we are part of the slave trade, which they participated in. And as far as Africa, it's just so huge and there's so much history in it with them participating in slavery, with other people participating in slavery. And this next speaker is just, it blew my mind, honestly. So, like I said, that first speaker was interrupted. Um, so it was about 15 minutes of, we'll be right back. Please stand by. Then when it comes back, it's like a live performance of reggae. As Jamaicans were performing reggae. I'm not gonna put the guy's music on here because, of course, I don't want to be copyrighted. But yeah, that was about a good 30 minutes of performance. So what's that? About 45 minutes to an hour of interruptions and performances. So it probably won't be a 3-hour reaction. Right now, this next speaker here, as you can see, I thought it was a white man at first, but this is an Arabic man. He's from Algeria. Yeah. Arab man for African reparations. Algeria. Um, all I know is the sub-Saharan slave trade is interesting, but we're going to continue. This man, he speaks Arabic, and he's going to have an English speaker speaking on his behalf. I had to fast forward this so we can get straight into it. So let's go ahead and hear what this Algerian man has to say.
And greeting all ministers, members of media, fraternity. I greet you by saying greetings to all. I want specifically to express my gratefulness and gratitude to the Republic of Ghana for hosting this international conference with regard to fronting and also having unified front towards the benefit of Africa. And we are also working towards uniting the African Union in order to achieve strategic goals which does not limit itself to geography or any other boundaries. We are working towards the benefit of African nations. I also seize this opportunity in order to express our profound gratitude towards all the efforts that has been exhibited, which number of people, including sons and daughters of African continent. Here, we remember all the souls of all the departed souls of Africa, especially those that we have registered their names with gold, those who died in honoring their country. The African fraternity, and for that matter, there are so many challenges that has to do with social, economic, that African community are confronted with. And also the African people have confronted a lot of challenges, and still they are representing the unified front in facing the challenges of the world. And African continent is also working towards unity. The challenges that globalization has brought, especially with regard to limitation of political advancement, and also challenges of culture, which has drive African towards backwards. And also the African Union is working towards the sustainability of development, and also in placing Africa among the advanced nations. There is no solution towards current problems without the establishment of unified front towards development of Africa.
Okay. It's a lot to unpack here. Okay. Where do I begin? Like I said, it's a lot of history on the continent of Africa. Our history doesn't have anything to do with them. However, but if we dig deeper, we probably sold some of our ancestors to the western part. You know, we probably came from Central, and then he put us in Ghana somewhere and shipped us over here. Yeah, but not to get into deep about that. Sub-Saharan slave trade happened long before I believe it happened long before the transatlantic slave trade. And he's gonna start talking about I believe he's gonna start talking about what happened then. You guys were included in that. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's an Arabic man demanding reparations for Africa. This is crazy. Like, I'm lost for words. It's kind of making me upset because it's like, how is this gonna work? Like I said, I don't know. I haven't heard anything of them saying Black Americans. They're more focused on the Caribbeans. But what does Algeria have to do with? I don't know. This is just crazy to me. And he's talking about globalization. Well, it's a whole thing with that. But you're talking about some of these countries, they agree with it. They agree with globalization. With the whole war going on in Nigeria, isn't Nigeria agreeing with, I don't know, it's just a conflict of interest when you include a whole continent and y'all trying to get reparations. But do y'all, I want reparations for those that were harmed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hater or anything, but don't include us in your mess. We need to be paid for this. We really do. But I'm gonna go ahead on and continue because this is a long one.
Remembering the intelligence of common African goal, it leads to exposing the challenges and also the relationship between Algeria and Africa. And this also ratifies that Algeria continues to represent the history of Africa, and it is also fighting in order to liberate Africa from slavery and also colonization. The Algerian Revolution.
That's another thing too. Like, wasn't some of North Africa still? Aren't they still continuing slavery? Like in Liberia. I just seen something about Algeria doing that too. Recently, like 2018. This is crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and continue.
Has also led to the liberation of Africa, and it is also enforcing and also ensuring the diplomatic effort that Algeria has given and continue to give Africa in order to liberalize and also liberate Africa. And we are also concerned about the role the Ghanaian government is also playing, particularly from the time of Kwame Nkrumah. And what we are trying to say here is that we want the liberation to continue in order to continue, and discussion should continue with regard to different issues that will relate to the harmonization of opinions.
Okay, yeah, okay, so I'm sorry for interrupting. It sounds like he putting his bid in. He's saying, I think he trying to throw a little diss, like, okay, Ghana, you did your thing. Don't look at us. It sounds like he trying to put a bid in on why they need reparations too. But, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue.
It can lead to the unity of Africa. And we are also trying to suggest that African should work towards unity. We must also try to make sure justice will be enforced. And this is also helping us to work towards the aspiration of African Union. We are aware of what colonization, slavery, and also other patterns has created towards Africa. And we know that African community and people were denied from their land and also their resources, and which led to the slavery of African people. And these are some of the offenses and crimes that cannot be shielded, especially now that we are able to recognize those who have committed those crimes. Your Excellency, invited guests, the movement of colonization and also the orientation that has been given to the African people, and also all the offenses and the crimes that has been committed against Africa, be it slavery, colonization, and bad ideologies that has also denied Africa from thinking towards advancement. All these were created as a result of colonization. And these crimes were committed against weak communities. And the rule, and these rules, and also colonization has denied us democracy.
None of my business, but it's like, okay, it's y'all taking the money, bro. The leaders is taking the money for the resources, and y'all not giving it to your people, bro. Like, I don't know. Let me let this finish.
Has denied democracy, and the modern democracy also must be considered, so that it will not sideline whatever Africa is supposed to get. And Algeria is happy to work with all the African partners, especially the continent that has suffered a lot from bloodshedding, colonization, and slavery. And we are working.
And it's like, yeah, he has to be putting his bid in, because it's like he's not including himself. Like, you are a part of Africa, so it just sounds like he putting his bid in because he's like, okay, I'm in front of all these melanated people, and I know they know. You know, you could just tell by the crowd like they're not really feeling what he's saying. But this crowd is interesting, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Arabic people. It's a couple of us in there. You got Arabic people, you got African, West African, South African people. There's some white people in here. This crowd is very interesting. Let me go ahead and try to get through this, because like I said, this is a long. He got a lot to say. It's like he repeating the same thing over and over again too. You'll see.
Towards establishing our sovereignty, and even Algerian people has also confronted with so many crimes. And our aim, and the aim of all these crimes, is to overcome and also colonize Algeria. And Algeria moves 1930s. Algeria has been confronted with colonization since 1930, and it has continued to also face challenges as a result of those. And there are so many laws that conflict with the international laws. And those laws are referred to as special laws that are not in favor of humanity and also Africa. And there are so many killings that has happened to the people of Africa, and particularly Algerians. And there are so many, resources of Algeria that has been taken away. And because as a result of that, Algeria has faced historical problems and crimes. And we also realize that these.
So, okay, yeah. Basically, he's saying that 1930 is when we were colonized, and that's why our crimes are happening. That's what he's saying. We've been going through this since 1930. We were colonized, and that's why all these crimes are happening. Okay. So like I said, it sounds like he putting his bid in, because they still doing stuff to Africans, like the melanated people over there now. I guess he's trying to say this is why it's happening, because of colonization in 1930. But let's finish listening to what this guy has to say. This is so interesting. It really is.
To realize that these crimes has gone beyond Algeria and has affected even the Sahara that is surrounded Algeria. And there are so many things that has been applied. So many means were applied. And there are so many experiences that people of Algeria has gone through And Algeria will continue to face all these challenges and to fight all these crimes in order to make sure it will develop in its culture and also development. And also, the colonization did not limit itself by taking away the land of Algeria, but it also denied Algerians from their own resources. And also there are so many migrants that have been migrated from Algeria, and they have also faced a lot of challenges. And as a result of that, there were so many demonstrations carried out by people of Algeria in order to face all these discriminations.
That's not on my behalf. Like I said, this is live, so they have a little bit of interruptions here and there. Yeah. This is like crazy because it's like, okay, now he's saying, oh, it's because, we immigration happened, so they also face challenges. I'm gonna try not to talk so much during this half.
And also these crimes.
It goes in and out.
And there are so many people that have been migrated. More than 11,000 Algerians were sacked from their own countries. These crimes, which I have just mentioned, has left so many challenges, and it has also impacted negatively. It continues also to affect communities. I want to affirm that all these crimes can never be forgotten. It will also continue to be in our mind, which also replicates whatever has happened, and that is also indicates the strives of Algerian people. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, ladies and gentlemen, we can tell you that Algeria has really faced a lot of challenges. It has continued to face all these challenges, especially these challenges came as a result of colonialism and slavery. And we are now facing challenges out of our resources that has been taken away. We are facing challenges that has to do with our health and also our resources. And there are so many laws and legislations that has been decided on in order to fight all this injustice. And we are trying to be healed from this. And there are so many financial means that has been denied. And we are also trying to face all this very serious crime that has been placed on the people of Africa as a result of colonialism. Algeria has continued, especially by what is being championed by the head of state and also the president, in order to be healed from all these challenges and all these crimes. And we are trying to bring back.
This is so greedy. They are so greedy, bro. I just gotta speak my mind on this, because it's like, okay, so you saying basically the reason why we still practice slavery, the reason why these immigrants that come here is facing challenges because we are practicing slavery on them and denying the melanated people that immigrate to our country. The reason why this is happening is because the western half of the world, the western hemisphere of the world, or whatever, however they view it, it's because they're coming in and they're colonized and they did all this. Bro, that's not how that works. That's not how African governments work. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's pissing me off because y'all keep trying to blame the West, but it's like, ain't nobody telling y'all to take all that money and not give it to your people. Ain't nobody telling you to do that. It's y'all doing that, taking the money that the West has paid for, you are getting the cheap end of the deal. Y'all should be charging more. You know what I'm saying? You could do that, because at the end of the day, I'm not, whatever. All I'm saying is, you getting paid for your deal, and you give your money out how you want to divvy it out. And it's because of your governments is why that's happening. It's like, okay, y'all gonna get this reparations, right? Say y'all get it. Are y'all gonna give that to the citizens of your nation, bro? Is that what's gonna happen? West Africa, is y'all gonna give reparations to the people that you sold off? Is that why you're not including Black Americans in this? And that's just my little take on it. It's kind of pissing me off. Like, y'all got this Arabic man up here talking this craziness. And I see y'all eyeballing him, looking at him crazy, because we know what's going on, and y'all try to hide it so much. I'm about to United Front. Talking about globalization. When some of these countries and Africa participates in it. He gonna give his little commentary of what's going on in Israel and Palestine. This is crazy.
All people that have been sent away from Algeria, and also we are trying to make sure we fortified our country from all these conscientization or negative orientation that has been given to our people during the colonization. Algeria is trying to be healed from all these crimes, and for that matter, it has taken a new pace that will lead Algeria to where it wants. And we are trying to put across a legislation that will defend Algeria from all these problems. And we have assembled academicians, and we have also specified special community in order to read and also study all the crimes that people of Algeria have faced. And we are quite conscious, very conscious that we are going to study and also try to heal people of Algeria from all these crimes. And we want recognition of these crimes so that we will have fair justice, equal justice, and for those who have committed this crime, they must also recognize those crimes that have been committed. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, ladies and gentlemen, we must be aware that Algeria has indeed faced all these problems, and it is seeking reparation for all the crimes and also all the denial of its resources in order to make sure it will heal totally from these crimes. And it will also want to place responsibility upon all those who have denied Algeria from its resources. Algeria is carried away all the effort to make sure African community will benefit, and Algeria is also trying and working very hard to make sure all the reparation will be given at the level of continent and also at the global level. And all the reparations are supposed to be given to people of Algeria, and all this that we are saying, Algeria is making effort in order to make sure it benefits economically, and also it will fight all the crimes that the people of Algeria are faced. Algeria has also carried away and also has recognized that the countries should not only concentrate on the reparation, but it must also consider ways that will lead to the sustainability of development, be it economic, social, or political. And also, it is also working towards how the debt release in order to make sure reparation is given. It is also going to force imperialist states to pay back all the, the resources that has been taken away. And also it is calling upon the Security Council to take a critical position towards bringing back all the resources so that the people, and for that people, African masses and African people will regain its, its resources. And we are also working together with all the African countries in order to study all the files of those who committed heinous crimes against Africa, and so that we can work together to make sure Africa will develop and also will develop common front of Africa so that it will lead to the development of the continent, especially with regard to this topic. In conclusion, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, here we are talking about all the crimes that have been committed by colonialists in Africa towards our people. Today we are witnessing a different type of crime which the Zionists are creating today against Palestinians. And there are so many women and children that are facing all these problems. And we have also realized the blockade that these people are facing, which is
That's very telling. Don't y'all think that's kind of telling, ain't it? I don't know if he's trying to make an example or is he making what is he doing there? What is he doing? Is he making like an example of what's going on today, or is he saying like, let's please not forget our people in the Middle East? Um, that's very telling. You know what I'm saying? And we already know that y'all don't get along for real. Yeah, I see it happening. I could see it in my little conspiracy little hat. I could see a war breaking out. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's not right. You know, I'm gonna be real. It's not right what's going on there. But like I said, in some of my posts, that ain't none of our business as far as Black Americans. What's going on with the I and the P up there? That's none of our business. Um, this is just crazy. You know, but we gonna finish. It's almost done.
against the international laws. These crimes against children and women, every every person in the world and all people of the world have witnessed it. And people of Algeria are standing beside people of Palestine and is calling upon all the international organizations and also countries across the world to come together and fight these crimes so that they will stop all these crimes against people of Palestine in order to bring back the history of people in order to make sure there will be liberty and also freedom for all people. Algeria is defending people of Palestine. And that defense comes out of the revolution of 1st November carried out in Algeria. And we are calling upon all the Africa to leave. May the continent and also the Algerian people live, and may God protect it. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
We're grateful to you, Your Excellency.
Yeah, so that's it right there. It's just a little ending he was wanting to include what's going on up there with the I and the P. Um yeah, this is very telling. It's interesting just seeing all of Africa unite. Look at the crowd. You know, you see a white guy and some Arabic. You know, this is Africa here, you know. Mostly melanated, but you know, you got a couple of whites and Arabic people in there. It's Africa. You know, and there's a lot of stuff that happened, you know. But as far as them, they need to be repaid, you know, what other places have done to them. That's true. But, you know, y'all have contributed to a lot what's going on, and we're not going to forget that. So, yeah, this is the second half. I'm going to try to finish up with more speakers later on. I appreciate you listening. Y'all take care.